Hi, my name is Richard Burbach with the Tom George Yacht Group. Today we are going to go over some of the Garmin features on the 8600 series, give you a little bit of details on your nav chart, your sonar, and a couple of the cool little features that are built into these Garmin units here. Right now this is kind of the home page here. And I have it set on the charts, and you see that is highlighted, so it gives me all my charts here. The two that we're going to focus on is the nav chart and the fishing chart. Everything else is upgraded options that are kind of a little bit complicated, and but these are the ones that 99% of people are going to use all the time, everyday life. So nav chart, click on this one here first. So pops up first thing here. We do have it in a simulation mode to give you guys some more details and things like that. But so it thinks we're down near Virginia Key, down in Miami. But as we zoom out here, you see our ocean over here, and then all these red and green markers. So those are going to be your channel markers throughout, and it's all pinch and zoom, just like your iPhone is. Very easy to use. If you're looking for somewhere to go and you're trying to investigate where you're using the boat that day, and then you're like, oh wait, where did my boat go? It's easy to get back over to where we were, and it centers back the little boat icon here. You see all these numbers throughout everything. Those are your depths. So here it says 0 to 6 feet depending on your tide. So down in Miami, they must have a pretty good tide swing down in there. We're here in Clearwater. If I was going to click somewhere, it typically vary about 3 feet because that's our tide here in Clearwater. So we'll show you kind of how to quickly add a point and go to that point and follow that route. So see the boats here. Say I want to go over here to this island right here. I just will click one click of the screen there, and then it gives you all these options here. The standard is going to be your go-to, and that's just going to be a direct line path from where the boat is to where your point is. And you see quickly there, it asks me if I want to engage the autopilot. This particular boat does have the autopilot feature built into it, so that's going to pop up every time you hit your go-to mark. And if you're running the boat, it'll automatically turn the boat in the direction to get you on that straight line path. So it's always going to want to try and stay directly on that original direct line path to our waypoint here at the island to go hang out. You also have, and to get out of that, if you want this line to go away and to stop your go-to, if you will, it's just this quick nav button up here in the corner. Click that, or I can come down here to menu and hit navigation options, stop navigation. That's because it said we had an autopilot. Navigation is stopped because the autopilot is no longer engaged. And you just hit standby, and now you have back control of the helm. The other option, which is the newer one, which you can upgrade for the 76 series, is something called auto guidance. So we'll maybe pick a point here. I'm going to go over here through the bridge here, and I'm going to hit auto guidance. That will automatically route me the safest way for me to get my boat there. In the settings, you can change the parameters to your boat, being draft, bridge height, or bridge clearance. If you want to stay in the channel or if you're willing to go outside of the channel, things like that. And then here it tells you of where possible hazards may be, and you can review what the route it gives you. See, it routes me right through directly right here through the bridge, and then to the point that I had up there. That is an upgraded feature on the 7600 series. You can buy a chip and upgrade that feature into it. With these new 8600 series, that's a standard feature. So now, again, I could hit start navigation, and now it asks me to engage my autopilot again. So that's a simple way to have the boat directly routed for you and the parameters of your boat, depending on what the drafts are and the bridge clearances. So we'll hit cancel there, stop the navigation there. And now we can kind of talk a little bit more about setting a waypoint and how to manage your waypoints in your Garmin screen here. So on the bottom side here, this is always going to be the same no matter what screen you're in. So you hit waypoints here, and now you have all these different options here. See, you got a bunch of different waypoints in this boat here, and how far away the waypoints are. You can change these to filter them by distance, by name, symbols. I mean, it's very, very user-friendly, and they make it pretty easy to manage all your waypoints here. So say I want to go to rock number 6. I can hit navigate to, and then again, see, now again, go to and auto guidance. Auto guidance would be the two main features there. You can probably just ignore your route to if you have the auto guidance feature. That's basically a manual auto guidance, which allows you to set different points, but those are the two main ones I would focus on. And then if we want to, say, add a waypoint, we can do it a couple different ways. My way, if I have the numbers, I got a piece of paper and I got a bunch of different numbers and I want to add them all in and add them into my screen. What I would do is I would just click a point anywhere, hit waypoint. It'll put that waypoint right there. The quickest way to do it, to change the coordinates, it would be just it's 0009, and then come in there, and now I can edit my waypoint here as I see fit. Come in here, edit, go to the position, enter the coordinates, and now you have the ability to enter exact coordinates into your screen, or upload it into the Garmin screen. You hit done, and now you can then change your name and name it whatever you want, and then save it back in that way. That's the quickest way to do it. Or you can also have, there's a great app that Garmin has that you can manage all your waypoints on and kind of plan your day before you get on the boat. That's a feature that you can download on your computer. Really easy to do at your home. I save all my waypoints on there, put them into an SD card, and then can upload it onto any new Garmin screen, either SD card or small chip. So a lot of really different features in there. I guess the last one that I would want to point out would be a lot of these have tides built into them, and that's a little bit more complicated to get to. So here on the main screen down here, you hit info, and then up here in the corner you have tides and currents. Go ahead and click onto your currents or tides, and that gives us, so this is Clearwater Beach, that's our nearest location, or you can change depending on where you want to go, and you have different options of different tides in different areas, and it gives you a nice big graph there, which is really nice as well. So and then you also have moon phases and all sorts of other stuff. That's all built into these Garmin screens. That's not an upgrade. But a very quick overview there. There's a ton of different information you can go through here. The biggest way to learn is to open it up and start pushing buttons, get out on the water, and start figuring it out. We can talk for hours on it, but that's a quick little overview of just the navigation side before we even dig into any of the sonar stuff. So now we're going to move in here to the screen here and show you some of the sonar stuff. So again, this is the main home screen, if you will, for the sonar in particular. Before we were on the charts, now we're on the sonar. So got the sonar clicked, and it gives you all these different options. Most people are going to have your traditional element built into pretty much every sonar system ever built from now to 20 years ago. The clear view, side view, live view, down view, these are all newer things that have come on the market in the last 3 to 5 years. So we'll just talk about the traditional element for right now. So we'll click on traditional. I have it set up in a simulation mode, which allows us to still talk about all the capabilities, but actually have something for you to see, considering we are not on the water today. So you see all your bottom contour here. The main thing with your colors, on the traditional element here is your red color. The thicker that red is, the harder the bottom. And a lot of, you see here, this is going to be bait off the bottom. This isn't a chirp mode, which tells you right down here in the corner. Chirp basically gives you a multitude of frequencies in a certain frequency range. So for the sonar, a lot of people, you have different options. You have a low, you have a medium, and you have a high. You got to think of it backwards. The highs are for shallower water. The medium would be kind of a good all-around transducer, and the low would be good for deep water, talking 1,000 feet or more, and being able to read bottom in deep water. So the chirp capability gives you the ability to have a multitude of frequencies in a high or low or medium frequency range. On our side of the coast over here on the west coast of Florida, a high chirp is really ideal for the waters that we fish in 300 feet and less, and it gives you a good target separation, which is really well shown right here. So you see maybe this could be a wreck because it is very hard all the way up through here. There's no space in between the bottom and your big hard piece right here. So that now is, it's actually connected to the bottom. And then up above it, you see your different predators or just different bait stacks right there. So those are individual baits, and maybe here with these bigger arches could be, for example, a school of kingfish, and now this is all your bait, and there's your kingfish watching them with those big arches that you see. So a little more detail on how to dial in your sonar here. So we'll go to the menu, and over here now you have different options for zoom or your frequency. This particular Everglades that we're on does have 2 transducers on it, so we could change the frequency from a low chirp to a high chirp depending on where you're fishing. And then your gain is also very similar with your radar gain. The higher the gain, the more sensitive it is, but the more clutter you may have in your bottom machine, and maybe pick up more of your bubbles from the props and things like that. So I like to have it as an auto high, and then from there, if you want to maybe change it to a medium to maybe declutter the sonar there. One big thing is you see it's zoomed all the way out now here in 411 feet, zoomed all the way out. If you're bottom fishing, you really want to dial in and locate on the bottom. So come over here to zoom, hit bottom lock. Now we have, it's backwards, 10, 20, 30, 40, dialed into the bottom. So these stacks are 20 feet off the bottom. That's a little harder to see when you have it zoomed all the way out, and you're not able to see exactly what's going on the bottom. So that's a good way to have it when you're bottom fishing and you're really trying to figure out, okay, is that a rock? Is that a bait? Is that what am I looking at there on your bottom machine? Again, remember that it's exaggerated, so keep it in mind and have your numbers in your head here as you're watching the machine. You can change this as well and set it somewhere depending on maybe where you want it to be. Zoom out. So maybe you want to be dialed in on the bottom, but still be able to see what's going on up above the water column. So that now maybe gives you a better idea. You can see all the way up to 260 feet, and then the bottom being at 350, 370. So there's a lot of different frequencies there that you can play around with. There's an easy one here where you can play with it without going into the menu, or then you just hit the auto and it'll automatically change the contour depending on how far out you have it set. You can quickly turn it off and have it untransmit or not. That is a nice thing to do if you're keeping the boat on the trailer, to turn it off while you're not in the water. These transducers do want to stay in the water and not have any long-term issues with that transducer. There's a ton of different things you can dial in through here, but the main thing is understanding your frequencies, your mediums, your highs, your lows, and how you want to set yourself up for success when you're going out there fishing, and really dial in that bottom machine. You know, we're over here on the west coast of Florida, all we do is bottom fishing, so being able to read your bottom, understanding what's a good mark, what's a bad mark, and the best way to do that is get your boat on the water, drop a line in and figure out what's going on down there, and then you know what you're looking at. We've already talked about the charts, and we've already talked about the sonar. So quick little points in regards to combos, radar, and some different gauges. So right now we're here in the combos tab. This is really nice if you got a single screen, 10, 12, 16, shoot, 24 inches. You can split it in half or into fourths. So one that most people would use would be your navigation and your sonar split right in half. That's, you know, great. That's going to be your standard way if you got a single 16 screen here like this. Be able to see all your information at one time. Oopsies. We'll go back home. You can edit all these and add different combos by coming down here and going to the menu. And now you have all your different options. Add, edit, delete, rearrange. So just for purposes here, maybe go to our charts and sonar. So right now you got nav chart, traditional sonar, side view, clear view. Maybe you want to add radar and delete one of these other ones. So I come in here, click that guy, and change it to my radar, single range radar. So now it's done. Now we have here our map, our traditional sonar, and then our side view and our radar. So that's a lot of different ways you can do it there in regards to your combos screen there. Another one real quick, we'll touch on the radar. Single range is going to be pretty much compatible with pretty much every radar on the market now. A quick way to turn it on, right here up in the corner, transmitting. So again, this is the 8600 series. The 7600 series is very, very similar as well. You can, your radar menu here to be able to adjust the gain and different radar options. They have things that are preset factory radar settings. So bird, if you're looking for birds, harbor mode, offshore mode, depending on where you're using the radar that day. These are kind of quick buttons inside that menu. So motion scope, you turn that off. Trails, that's echo trails. So if a target was moving this way, the echo trails would be the little blue lines. Whether that be a boat or a storm, you can see which way it's moving compared to where you are. And then the quick way to turn that off, right here in the corner, shut it off. And then lastly, we'll talk about the gauges. So again, 8600 series, very similar to 7600 series. The Active Captain is basically an app that you can put on your phone. Honestly, I do not know much more than that because you do have to register the device to yourself, and I haven't been able to register one of these devices because I haven't been able to buy an 8600 series with the Active Cap in it. But it is an app on your phone, and it's all built-in Wi-Fi, so it's an easy way to upload waypoints into your phone and then put them up on your screen, your computer, and save waypoints that way. The nice one here is the media. So if I want to, change my source here, you can do it obviously through your Fusion stereo system, as you see the Fusion here, or you can put it through your Garmin screen. So maybe I wanted to go over to my FM and change it that way. Again, we're in a simulation mode, so this is just kind of what shows up. But this gives you a good options, and it's nice and easy. It's very visual. It's right here in front of you, Sirius XM, and then you have different zones. So just turn it up in the bow, this the sub, depending on how many different zones your boat may have. This is all configured through your Garmin screen here. This particular boat is equipped with autopilot, so we could control our autopilot through our screen as well. 1 degree to the left or 10 degrees to the right, or hold a position, some different options there. and then all your engine information. You can see all your engine information through here as well, and this is all editable as well. So basically all this is doing is taking information from your Yamaha screen and putting it into your Garmin screen. You have 3 different little options, pages that you can edit to create however you want. So these are all interchangeable. So maybe if I don't want to see my fuel here anymore and I want to put something else there, I can push it, hold it down, and then you see the replace data. Hit the replace data, and now you have all these different options here to replace data. You know, there's some sailing ones on here like wind, but that's not something, we don't have a wind gauge on a 33-foot center console. So that's not going to show up. It is there as an option, but it doesn't let you go any further than that. So try not to get too carried away. But if you did want to see maybe your coolant temperature or exhaust temperature on your engine, oil pressure, and it gives you all these different options here. Again, we're on a 33-foot center console. This is the simulation mode. We do not have 6 engines on here, but it shows you what you can do with it. So a very, very user-friendly, very easy to change. Again, hold it down, replace data. It gives you the options to put anything in that screen there. So that's your gauges. There's also video gauges through there if you were to put maybe a FLIR camera on the boat. The AV gauges and controls would be how you would get to your video. Shoot, you can put a satellite dome on the thing and watch NFL Red Zone on the way out to your favorite honey hole if you want to do that. That's my dream. So, you know, not be able to miss football and still be able to go fishing. That's the perfect Sunday. But again, my name is Richard Murbach with Tom George Yacht Group, 8600 series Garmin's. Hope that was helpful for you guys. Give us a call if you got any questions. Very, very, you know, happy to help you guys navigate through here. There's a ton of options. We could go on this video for 4 hours if we wanted to, with all the different features you have with your Garmin's. But big thing, get out there and start pushing some buttons and get a line wet. Thanks.